Let me say this. You don't need to speak perfect French to succeed in the TEF Canada exam. But you do need to master a few key skills. In this video, I'll share 3 strategies that makes the difference between passing and failing the test. Salut, I'm Umut, a certified French teacher here in Toronto and creator of the TEF Canada Success Course. Over the years, I helped many beginners not only learn French, but also pass the TEF Canada exam for their PR application. I spent hundreds of hours building lessons and coming up with strategies for my students, and today I'm going to share the most effective ones with you. Before we jump in, let's quickly talk about what CLB 7 actually means. CLB stands for Canadian Language Benchmark. The system Canada uses to measure your language ability for immigration purposes. In TEF Canada terms, CLB 7 usually means B2. So when we talk about getting a CLB 7, it means getting a solid upper intermediate level. But don't let that intimidate you. It means you have enough skills to handle everyday conversations, write clear messages, and understand most things you hear, even if you are not perfect. You just need to meet the exam's requirements. And that's exactly what we are going to focus today. One of the mistakes I see students make is studying French randomly, without actually practicing what they will face on the exam. The TEF Canada exam is task-focused. This means that in each section, writing, speaking, listening, and reading, you are asked to complete a specific realistic task. Let's look at the exam structure. In Part A, you will need to ask around 10 questions about an announcement. This could be an advertisement or notice related to daily life, job offers, services, leisure activities, housing, etc. You will have 1 minute to read the announcement, then 5 minutes to ask about a dozen questions to the examiner. In Part B, you will receive another type of advertisement, but this time your task is to converse with a friend, the examiner, and convince them to come with you. You will have around 10 minutes to complete this task. In Section A, you will be given the beginning of a press article from the news section. Your task is to complete the article with minimum 80 words in a style similar to these examples. In Section B, you will be given a sentence taken from a newspaper. Your task is to express your point of view and justify it with minimum 200 words. You have 1 hour total for both writing tasks. For the reading exam, you will work with about 40 texts of different lengths, such as emails, product packaging, announcements, and articles. You will have 60 minutes to answer multiple choice questions. The task tests your ability to identify text types, scan quickly for information, and show overall comprehension. For the listening exam, you will hear a variety of short and long audios, such as phone messages, dialogues, and interviews where people share their opinions. The task is to identify the main ideas and key details. You will have 40 questions and 40 minutes. So instead of just memorizing random grammar rules, you should focus on practicing these real exam tasks. To give you a clear idea, here are some study priorities you can focus on. For speaking, practice asking clear, precise questions in French. Learn how to give advice and recommendations to convince a friend. For writing, review past tenses and time expressions. Learn common action verbs for storytelling. Use connectors to structure short stories and letters. Make sure your study plan is built around these exam topics. The TEF Canada exam doesn't expect you to talk about every topic under the sun. Your vocabulary is tested within common everyday topics that reflect real-life communication. Here's the good news. You don't need to debate politics to reach CLB 7 in French. Instead, you should focus on practical topics that appear on the exam. I've created this list of useful topics based on previous exams. 1. Cultural and sports activities. Often, the exam will give you something like a theater play or a movie poster like this one, or a sports event. You will need to ask questions about the event. For instance, où a lieu le spectacle? À quelle heure commence le film? Combien coûtent les billets? 2. You might see a job ad like this one, an internship posting, or a course announcement. You will need to ask questions about the details. For example, quels sont les horaires de travail? Est-ce qu'il faut de l'expérience? Où se trouve l'entreprise? 3. Hobbies and free time. You may need to ask questions about a club, an activity, or a leisure program. Example questions. Quels sont les jours d'inscription? Combien coûte l'abonnement? Est-ce que l'activité est ouverte aux débutants? 4. Vacations and travel. Travel and trips are classic exam topics. You will often need to ask practical questions about a holiday or trip. For example, quelle est la durée du séjour? Quels sont les moyens de transport inclus? Quelles activités sont proposées? 5. Housing and daily life. Housing ads appear frequently. You will need to ask questions about an apartment or neighborhood. Examples. Quel est le loyer mensuel? L'appartement est-il meublé? Quels services sont inclus? The key is to study vocabulary by theme and practice asking questions in context. This way, when you see an announcement in the test, you will immediately know what kind of question to ask. This is exactly what I do in my courses. We practice with real exam-style questions, and I train students to ask clear and natural questions. CLB 7 isn't just about knowing the right words. It's also about knowing how to say them. Let's take a look together at what examiners are looking for. This is what they look for: clear, well-structured sentences, correct use of tenses and moods, a variety of vocabulary and expressions. The way you phrase your ideas can make the difference between an average score and a strong score. Let me show you some practical tips you can use right away. For the speaking exam, first, make sure to ask clear, natural questions. In part A of the speaking test, you will need to ask questions about announcements or ads. Examples: Pouvez-vous me dire? Est-ce que c'est possible de? À quelle heure? Où? Comment? Par exemple, pouvez-vous me dire à quelle heure commence le spectacle? It's a great way to ask a question. Second, express opinions and give reasons. In part B, you may need to convince a friend or explain your point of view. Example phrases: à mon avis, je pense que, parce que, je crois que. For example, à mon avis, ce film est très intéressant parce que l'histoire est captivante. For the writing test, make sure to use connectors to link ideas. Connectors show structure and make your text easier to follow. For example, d'abord, ensuite, enfin, parce que, car, cependant, mais, donc, ainsi. For example, d'abord, j'ai visité le musée. Ensuite, je suis allé au théâtre. Second, make sure to use rich verbs and vocabulary. Avoid repeating words. Use synonyms and action verbs to show range. For example, instead of commencer, you could use débuter, right? Instead of finir, you could say terminer. Or instead of aimer, you could say apprécier. For example, J'apprécie les expositions temporaires. If you want to prepare seriously for the exam, check out my TEF Canada Success Course. We cover everything you need to know for the exam, from A1 to B2 level French. Each level focuses on exam topics and grammar, with my tips based on years of experience. At the end of each lesson, you will be able to complete an exam task, so you are practicing exactly what will appear on the test. I'll be there to track your progress, give feedback on your weekly assignments, and help you improve quickly. With the full program, you will also have regular online meetings to practice speaking, pronunciation, and get answers to any questions you have. If this sounds good to you, check out my TEF Canada Success Course link below to learn more. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Merci et à bientôt!